Hey everybody, so I'm back with my second piece of my House of the Dragon inspired resin jewellery that I make. This is for season 3 obviously. This is also for episode 1 where Jace dies, but this time it is a necklace. I'm still using pieces that I had from my stash, and that is where when I make a piece, in case something goes wrong, or if I have any leftover resin, instead of wasting it, I will make extras. Like I said, in case something goes wrong, something breaks or it doesn't come out right, I obviously have another piece to replace it. Or like I said, sometimes I have this just little sliver of resin left. Rather than waste it, I will put it into a mould, whether it's just some little tiny one or it becomes part of little splotches into a different bigger mould. But I do like doing that. So yeah, this piece is, like I said, made up from all stash pieces that I already made, mostly for last year, that never ended up being used. So I'm going to be using some UV resin to put these pieces into the base of the pendant, so that it looks like one full piece. I'm not going to be colouring the UV resin that because I only have a little UV resin left, and obviously I don't want to ruin that. So this is the piece that I already made. The video for it should be up. This was inspired by obviously House of the Dragon. I am not a fan of the green colour or the orange that Vermax Jace's dragon was, so I used obviously red because it is one of the House Targaryen colours. And what I did was use a lot of red gems in that, and I took some pieces. Obviously, like I said, I couldn't make any more because my room is too hot, and when I did try, it cracked the resin because it set too quickly. It has been a lot cooler today, so my hope is actually I might try and make some pieces that will sit overnight for future work. But this piece was made from already made pieces. The dragon is, like I said, a red dragon. I painted it, and then I used a Posca pen in black to make markings, and then actually used my finger to run it off, and that helped it with it. And like I said, the skull was also red rather than black. So instead of having a red skull with a black skull with red blood pouring down it, I have a red skull with black coming down it, which was I thought a more unique look, but it kept all the red of the House Targaryen I wanted. So back to this piece, which is obviously what this video is about, and this is another piece inspired by Jace's death scene, obviously. So I have taken these pieces of, like I said, a pendant, which is a hollow piece right now, so you need to obviously tape up the back, put what you want in, and then you use clear resin. I don't have any resin tape right now, mostly because I do this not very often with UV resin, and all the bezels and that I have run out the tape and not bought more since it's been so long. You can use normal tape, but you just need to be a bit careful where, if like with mine it's a thinner tape, you just obviously have to make sure that the joint, if it's in between anywhere, is very, very well covered so that it doesn't leak through at all. But yeah, these are the pieces I've collected. I'm probably not going to use all of them. Sorry about that. I'm probably not going to use all these pieces in it because I don't think it's going to fit. I know that the very big black gem on back is not going to fit. So we do that. So here is taping, and of course, as always happens when you're trying to do a craft project. My tape dispenser ran out of tape at this point, so that was not a lot of fun. But I did manage to go and get a reel of tape instead. I had one of the dispensers that just has pre-sized pieces of tape ready. So instead I just had to use scissors to cut a reel. And don't come at me, cosplayers, for using sewing scissors. Those are my what I call pattern scissors, and that means that they are a very old pair that don't cut fabric as well anymore. So they have been relegated down to cutting things such as paper and foam and things like that, that obviously still need cutting but aren't as visible as the fabric or don't need as sharp of it. So this is me working out what I'm going to do. Like I said, I already know I'm going to have the pearl and black beads at the top. And what I decided to do, I wanted the skull in the middle, the dagger in the top, facing down, pointing towards the skull, and then a little black gem. And this is me using the UV resin to basically make the clear background to hold everything in. And I am using I don't know what they're meant to be called. They're called popsicle sticks in the pound shop where I bought them. And I bought a pack of probably 200, both natural and coloured. And I think they were £1 each. And I bought them a while ago. And they're still working, so I used them. This is my new UV lamp I got from, I think it's pronounced Tiger. A lot of people say it differently. But it was actually on clearance. And I can't remember the exact price. It was either £2 or £3. And considering how much a UV lamp can normally be, getting it for that price was pretty amazing. And the only difference really between this and some of the cosplay ones I've seen that take a lot more time is the proper ones that are meant for resin have a mirrored bottom, so that they help with the light. Easiest quick fix, which is what I've done here. You just put a bit of tin foil underneath it, and that pretty much gives the exact same effect. So that is just putting it through. So now that's done, I've taken the tape off and I used just a very cheap top coat for a nail varnish for my pieces like that. And I've literally just put a layer or two along the back just to help cover up any of the slight lines and that. I did try to make sure there were no bubbles or anything before I set it. That was cool. So this is now everything there. The chain, however, is the only thing. That ended up being very long, so I did cut that down. But I've got enough chain there to do a bracelet, so I'm not too worried. I will apologise if you hear slight slamming. That is my door. England is still ridiculously hot, and I have, obviously with my health problems, breathing and that, so I have to try and keep the room cool. One of which is having my door open to let a breeze through. And unfortunately I haven't got anything right now to keep the door open fully, so it keeps slamming randomly. As you can see here, this footage might look slightly different. That is because this is the next day, and that is because I realised while I was putting this together that the actual pendant piece, the hole for it is too low for me to be able to put any of the jump rings I had, so I had to buy some. The original thing was just use a little bit of chain, put it through the hole to do it, and that didn't work either because the hole was too small for the chain to go through, and I didn't want wire or anything. As I have used that before for a different piece, I want this to just look more cohesive. So this is the final piece, and I will definitely be back with some more House of the Dragon inspired pieces in the future. So I will see everybody later.